All right, as we move on in the MAC West, they're used to winning excellence right here in the state of Michigan, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, with the Central Michigan Chippewa program. And this is going to be Dan Enos' third year there, former quarterback at Michigan State, and a young man who had a tremendous amount, grew up in this state, knows what Central Michigan football has been back to the Herb Duramity days. As we take a look at Dan Enos is going to play his alma mater too. How about that?
How about having Michigan State on campus
coming up
Mount
to Kelly
Pleasant?
Shorts? That's going to be phenomenal, as about 70 miles between the two campuses will be bridged on September 8th. You'll see it right here on the ESPN family of networks on ESPNU. And let's talk Central Michigan football with Dan Enos and ultimately a couple of his outstanding young student athletes as we welcome Dan Enos and the Central Michigan Chippewas he's no stranger, though, to downtown Detroit. He's like me. He grew up like a couple of minutes from here. I would imagine you spent a lot of your youth at Tiger Stadium and Comerica Park and Joe Louis Arena, yes?
Absolutely. Tiger Stadium, though. Yep. Yeah,
Tiger Stadium.
We used to go down Michigan Avenue from Dearborn, just head right on down, and we'd go several times during the summer, but great place.
I bet you saw a lot of Tyler Tettleton, the Ohio quarterback. Yep. His dad hit all kinds of home run bombs at Tiger Stadium.
Absolutely. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's his father.
Oh, my goodness.
You're a Tiger fan.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, enough of baseball. Let's talk Central Michigan football. Year 3 in the program, Dan, and in terms of building your program, you've had to play so many youngsters, and in turn, because of youngsters that had to play before you got there, of course, some veterans that might still be in the program did not have a redshirt year and what have you. But in terms of formulating the roster, has it been how you expected it to go in terms of building the type of foundation you've wanted through 2 years as we go into year 3?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited going into year 3. I think our biggest challenge when we arrived was the fact that, I'm the third head coach in 5 years. And when that happens, there's recruiting classes that get left hanging out, and you know how that goes in college football. If you have a couple of those, there was just we had some good players, but there was just too many holes. There wasn't a lot of depth in certain areas. So our biggest challenge has been trying to build our roster and create a complete football team that has depth, that has older players playing with younger players stepping into those roles. And obviously last year we had to play 10 true freshmen, and obviously usually that doesn't bode well to your win-loss record when you have to do that. But we're gonna gain dividends from that stepping into this year, because now we got a lot of guys that have played football. We have an outstanding senior core this year. We have 20 seniors in this class, and you balance those with our young players that are developing. And those 10 freshmen that played for us last year, they've now been on campus for 1 year. They've been in a strength and conditioning program for a year. You've seen physical change in those guys. They're more confident in themselves and what they're doing with the spring practice and those types of things. So we feel like our football team is the most complete one since I've been there, from the kicking game to offense to defense, and we're building depth. And we really like the recruiting class that just arrived on campus here about 5 weeks ago, and they've been spending a lot of time obviously taking classes and working with our strength and conditioning staff. So we feel we've got a nice solid class there, and we're building a foundation that's going to last well into the future.
Dan, this is the first year, though, that you're not going to have to play true freshmen. Would that be a true statement?
Yes, absolutely.
And it's such a key thing. And now you have 18 starters back. Offensively, your quarterback is back. He's been very, very good at times. Obviously, he's been inconsistent at times. How's he doing? Ryan Ratcliffe, of course, I'm talking of. How's his spring? Talk about his maturation.
Well, he's had a very good spring and summer, and I think Ryan has to. That's one thing we've addressed with him. He's got to be more consistent throughout the season. As we went back and evaluated him last year, we felt that he played very well. I think that his play will be better. It was better from year 1 to year 2, just because we created more weapons for him, and we created more of a running game for him at times where we could be more balanced. And obviously, we know when your quarterback's job is going to be a little bit easier when you can run the football. And going into year 3, I think we've added even more offensively. I think our defense will be very much improved, which will create more more touches for our offense, help with field position. Our kicking game is going to be more established and more veteran-like. And I think when you throw all those things into it, I think we're going to get better play out of our quarterback. And the big thing is I think sometimes he tries to do too much. I think he feels the pressure of the world on his shoulders at times and feels he has to win games for us. And he's got to realize, and I think at times last year he said, you know what, we got some good players. I'm going to get the ball to the guy, let these guys run with it, use our running game, use our play action game, and manage the game a little bit better.
Say hello to two of the very gifted Central Michigan Chippewas that Dan Enos has with him here today, cornerback Jahleel Addae and offensive lineman Eric Fisher. Great to see both you guys. Terrific. You know, we mentioned outstanding cornerbacks in this league. That right there, Jahleel Addae, I think, is one of the top cornerbacks that we have. Jahleel, how do you feel your game has improved in terms of the team concept and what you've been looking to do as your career has continued to mature in Mount Pleasant?
Obviously, we have more of a veteran group on defense this year, so everyone knows their role. People know me as being aggressive, playing with passion, coming downhill to hit. I think people have questions on my coverage ability, and this offseason I've worked on a lot of my coverage, and in my opinion, we have one of the best receiver corps in the nation. And with going against them every day, each day, day in and day out, I feel like I've improved in that area.
You know, I like that talking about, because a lot of corners don't like to hit. You know, don't like to come up and support the run game and what have you. Has that been something that's always been a part of your makeup in terms of being aggressive and wanting to be around the football, even if it is in the opposition's run game?
Yes, it is. I have a knack for the football. I love being around the ball. Being around the ball creates turnovers, and that's something that Coach Enos harps on each day in and day out. And that's something that I can continue to improve on, take that with my game, and work on my coverage ability and become an all-around better player.
In the central schemes, Jahleel, they get you in the box a lot. They move you around. You're at safety. You're in position to make a lot of plays, and as we just witnessed, looking at some of that video, you make the plays. Very aggressive. Now, your brother was a safety as well. Did he help you? Played at West Virginia, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did he help you coming up to establish some of your toughness and everything else coming out of Florida?
I think it's just in the bloodline. My brother's a big-time safety at West Virginia University.
Right.
I was originally committed here and to come play running back, moved to receiver, and then I found my home at safety.
Yep.
And I just think it runs in the family. I try to do my best that I can at that position, and I've done a pretty good job so far.
I guess you have.
All over the secondary. Eric Fisher on that offensive line, one of the true veterans on this Central Michigan football team. The program has always been blessed with outstanding offensive linemen. I'm sure you followed that as you were coming through your high school career, as you were starting to pick colleges. Eric, was that attractive to you, and has it been everything in terms of developing offensive linemen that you felt it would be in the Central program?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of guys, to model ourselves after, and we got Staley with the 49ers, and he's, by far the biggest guy to look up to, just coming out of the MAC school and doing what he's done at that level. But we've had a very, we have 4 seniors back on the line this year, which is going to be awesome. We've been playing together for 3-4 years, and we're all on the same page, and we're ready to get after it.
Eric, again, and of course Michael talked about it. I mean, it's just a great tradition of offensive tackles at Central Michigan. And looking at your offense, and I think you're certainly one of those guys. Looking at your team offensively, Jahleel mentioned you do have 3 outstanding receivers. Mm-hmm. Your quarterback is back. As an offensive lineman, though, you got those 2 big running backs back, and Brown and Garland, both 225 and up. I don't know how big they are now, but that's got to make you feel pretty comfortable having the big guys right behind you there.
Oh yeah, for sure. We take passion and open holes for them.
Yep.
And knowing we got hard-nosed guys like that back there, to really stick their face in the defense, and they'll get them those extra couple yards after we make those holes, and just our entire offense, we've been together for 2 years now playing, with each other, and it's just a great feeling, knowing the guys who you're playing with.
Dan, to wrap it up with you, what's going to be the most important thing? Now you grew up in this state, so how tough and difficult it is to go through a MAC schedule each and every year. But as players mature and the program progresses, what's going to be the main ingredient, do you feel, that's going to be able to show not only consistency, but then the ability to sustain it going forward?
I think one of the keys this year is going to be our ability to stay healthy, which I know we don't have a lot to do with all the time. We've had the injury bug has creeped up on us our first 2 seasons, especially in the offensive line. Our first year we started 10 different guys. Last year we started 9 different guys at that position. It's tough to create continuity, as Eric alluded to earlier. That's important at that position. So I think that we have a veteran group this year. Our players know how to practice. They know how to work. We've created from spring practice an environment where we can practice hard but keep people up and keep people healthy, and we're going to continue that through fall camp. And we just have to now take the things that we've learned and just get better at them and not get bored with them. As we tell them, we got to get better at all the things we've been doing. And the big thing is we're very excited about our team, but our senior group in particular it's a very mature group. They've provided great leadership for us from the time the season ended up till now. Now they got to carry out throughout the season. And, just 2 things to add. My man Jahleel here graduated already. He's going to be working on his master's degree. I mean, these are the type of people we have in this program. And, Fish is a mechanical engineering major. These guys, I'm so proud of them. We're going to have a bunch of our seniors are going to graduate at the end of this semester. And they're just a great group of young men, and they are really, really taking a lot of pride in, watching both these guys, just because they're here today, work with our young players and develop not just as football players, but they're developing as men and as people that are having an impact on our younger players in this program. They're going to leave a legacy, and we're just excited to get moving forward this year.
That's outstanding. Just a tremendous selling point for 2 veterans in the program. Dan, thanks so much for dropping by. Continued success. Best. Jahleel, Eric, we're going to see you guys during the course of the year, and we know it's going to be a big year in Mount Pleasant.
Yes, sir.
Good luck with everything.
Thanks,
All right.
Good luck, man.
Dan Enos, the head coach of the Central Michigan Chippewas, and his safety, secondary, defensive back, Jahleel Addae. Kind of play all over him. He's liable to see him lining up an outside linebacker, play a corner once in a while. Safety, and Eric Fisher, the offensive lineman.